Hi everybody, welcome to Telecom Dog, where we're all about the travel, tech, and talk. Today, some thoughts on Windows 11. My opinion, if you may. The first update in 6 years, since 2015, when we were aggressively led to believe Windows 10 would be the last window we would ever need. It would be a service, continuously evolving with updates, but never requiring another operating system. My opinion is based on the personal use of Windows 11 and conversations with that of my peers. What we're looking at now is the Windows 11 badge or sticker that lets us know that this is actually Windows 11. This is a point of contention. This is important because for a long time we didn't know what the new name of the product was going to be. We didn't know if it was the Windows 10 that they were testing in the beta program, or if they had something in the closet that they pulled out that no one else knew about. Anyway, it turns out that it was more or less the Windows 10 that they had been constantly working on, and they just decided to name it Windows 11 and call it a major update. So let's go on. What you're looking at now is the opening screen for Windows 11. The graphics are supposed to be much better, and the first thing that comes to mind is the taskbar is located in the middle of the screen, the bottom middle hand portion. Normally we'd find this on the left hand side. It kind of looks like Mac or Apple OS with a centralized taskbar. One of the first things you'll notice when you turn this program on is the new opening sound. There is a new sound for those who are interested. This is the new starting menu or program launcher. Instead of coming from the left hand side like the older one, it too is located in the center. One of the things that you will notice is the icons themselves have changed. In an attempt to be more modern, they've rounded the edges of some of the icons, and that's supposed to be more futuristic. Widgets, that's what you see on the left hand side. They're small panels and they're live. Previously in Windows 10 there were live panels, but they've done away with it in this version, except they've made the widgets themselves live panels. By live I mean the information changes. Maybe it's a news program, maybe it's an advertisement for something, maybe it's the weather. It's an icon that is changing and updating with information. That's what we mean by, in this version of Windows, they've made getting to the widgets much more easier. And this is something I happen to like. Previously, I never used the widgets because they were hard to find and they weren't as attractive. But I find this more attractive. I do find this to be one of the more positive aspects of this upgrade. What we're looking at now is the new File Explorer. Pretty much like the old one, but the difference is you can see the folders themselves have changed. You have a much better view of the folders, and you can see that they're new. They're rounded on the edges and the design is somewhat newer. Also on the right hand upper corner you see kind of like presets for the snap function. The snap function this time I like because they are preset. They're preset. You click on where you want your screen to go, and that's where your screen to go. Previously, they were a hot mess. They didn't work all the time. They certainly didn't work the first time. You had to do it 2 or 3 times to get your various pre-portioned screens to go to various sides of the screen itself. But this, you click on the configuration that you like, and the screens go there. So I find that much more attractive. I do like that. So let's go through a summary of some of the other offerings of this new Windows 11. In general, it's the interface. It's new. It's a facelift. And its most prevalent aspect is the rounded corners on the icons. Teams will be playing more of an important part in your communications platform. Team as opposed to Skype. You'll see more Team and less Skype in your communications once you start using this. Snaps and widgets, as I mentioned, are in the foreground. They're easy to find, easy to use. I think you'll find that quite pleasurable. I have heard them say that this new system is faster. That's kind of a tricky statement. And it's a tricky statement because more than likely you'll have to buy a new machine to get Windows 11 to run to full functionality. So obviously if you buy a new machine, it'll be 11th generation Intel, and therefore it will be fast. But the question is it faster if you use it on the same machine as you have now on your Windows 10? I'm going to go, I don't know. And also, of course, with the machine that you have now, unless it's 11th generation, it's probably not going to be fully functional. They mentioned that this is a really secure version of Windows 10. I think it is, especially on the hardware that you have now. I think it's Windows secure, and in my opinion, that's pretty secure. When an exploit comes out, they quickly deal with it, and they provide you with a fix. But to say that it isn't hacked, there are no exploits for it, no, I can't really go along with that. There may be, however, some hardware-related things if you happen to get a new system, 11th generation or higher, that may make it a little bit more secure. But as it is, if you just upgraded this from your Windows 10, I don't know if you're going to see that much of an increase in security. There is supposed to be better integration with touching or the pen itself. That remains to be seen. I don't use touch or pen, so I can't really give you my opinion anyway on that. This might be a good time to mention that getting a copy of this turned out to be pretty difficult. Microsoft was very secretive about that. They didn't even let us know where or what program this was until the very last moment, and then finally it got leaked. So that which got leaked is probably not the most updated version, but at least it gave us something to look at. And amongst other things, it helped us confirm that this is the Windows 10 with a facelift, as opposed to something being built brand new from the ground up. The next function I'd like to mention is wireless communication. You will be able to use Windows to project whatever it is you're looking onto your home TV screen. I've enjoyed this before on Samsung and several other Android devices. I'm glad to see this is coming away with Windows. And then there's the gaming. The gaming graphics are supposed to be incredible here. I've seen them and they look very good. For you to get all the functionality out of them, of course you're going to need the Intel 11th generation chip. A new service being offered is the Game Pass. The Game Pass for Windows. In this case, it's a monthly fee, and you get to play all the games that you want to play. In addition, there's going to be a brand new, built from the ground up, Microsoft Store. This store, one of the major advantages is it integrates content that you can purchase, like videos and stuff like that, into the regular Microsoft Store. So you'll be able to see a movie, pick that movie, pay for that movie, rent that movie if you like. You'll find and you'll find that in the Microsoft Store. There's going to be an integration of the Amazon App Store with the Microsoft App Store. So you'll be able to get some of these services, some of the benefits of having Amazon with your Microsoft. One of the really important benefits is you'll be able to get Android from Amazon to run on your Windows PC. That's right, Android running on a Windows PC. That should be really special. That should be great to see. And of course, there'll be new themes. So that's a summary of the features, but now I have something I'd like to say. We're going to call it good news with some bad aspects. It's Initially, something's good, but unfortunately, it's not perfect. Example. Good news, there's going to be a brand new Microsoft Store. Bad news, it's flawed. There have been reported issues of installation of the program that you get off the store. And because it's brand new, apps that are 100% able to take advantage of the new aspects of Windows 11 aren't available yet, and they're few and far between. I expect in the future that will improve. I hope it should improve rather soon, but now, at the time that we're speaking, there's not really much of a selection of things that take full advantage of that. The partners, such as Intel, have been made aware, so they're already building the chips according to the specifications, and some of the developers as well have been made. But the truth is, the bulk of them have not, because this is just too new. It just hasn't had a chance to come out. It's going to take a while for them to get down to the business of programming and creating new products that are 100% compliant, functionality able, and 100% able to take full advantage of all the functionality of this new operating system. Briefly, let me speak on the compatibility issue. To get 100% full functionality, as I mentioned, you're going to need an 11th generation Intel chip in your system. Intel being partners with Microsoft, they got the news first. They have already been building to this. But AMD, not one of the partners, is probably going to be lagging on this. So it's going to take them a while to create the necessary changes or chip adaptations to get 100% functionality. If you happen to have a PC now that's capable of running Windows 11, not all PCs that are running Windows 10 will be able to run 11. It's going to have to be a newer, more modern PC. So there'll be some people that won't be able to make the upgrade, and they will have to switch when their version of Windows 10 reaches its end of service or end of life. Speaking of end of life, the end of service or end of life for Windows 10 starts in May of 2021 and will extend to May of 2022, depending, of course, on the version of Windows 10 that you have. So the moment your operating system reaches its end of service, then you're going to need to buy another PC, because you won't be able to get security updates or any of the other updates, and that will put you in the defunct category. Good news, Windows 11 will be coming this fall. So we're talking fourth quarter 2021. There you have it. My dream was a system built from the ground up. Something totally new. Something that delivered faster updates, smaller pieces so that they could actually update in the background, but with granular control so that I could control when my system was updated. When the systems update, I don't normally update my system right away. I like to wait a couple weeks. I hear in this version they have actually come up with updating in the background. But unless it has granular control, and I haven't seen it yet, it's just going to happen in the background, and it's going to be the exact opposite of what I want. So I'm going to have to find a way to stop that. Updates in smaller pieces, that would make it easier to upgrade in the background, and that would also make the process quicker. So I wanted quicker updates, I wanted them in the background, but I wanted them with granular control. Windows search or Windows system search, as it is now, it is lacking in a lot of places. It lacks in detail. It lacks in detail. It lacks in functionality. It's not very active, and it often misses what you're searching for, even though you know that it's there and you've seen it before. I was hoping for a new control panel, one control panel, Currently there are two control panels, and one panel does some things and the other one does other things, but neither of them do all the things. So you have to kind of remember which one does what and use that panel when you're going to carry out that particular function, and use the other one when you're going to carry out that particular function. I was hoping that they did away with the 32-bit programming in the system. That in itself makes the system insecure. Holding on to all that legacy programming makes the system insecure. Currently, maybe 1.3 billion people are using Windows. And for a hacker, if he can figure out something, an exploit or a hack that will affect a small portion of 1.3 billion people, he's got a very successful hack. But when you start all over with a Windows 11 and it does not contain all that backwards compatibility, the hack has to be a brand new hack. And that the hacker is then faced with the problem: do I create a hack for 100 million people when there's a hack over there that I could create for 1.4 billion people? It becomes unfeasible for him to work on that, and that alone adds extra security to your system. So I was hoping they would drop a lot of that backwards compatibility stuff, and move on with a brand new build from the ground up. I was hoping they were going to do that, but unfortunately they didn't. So here's a question: should you get Windows 11? My answer: immediately, for the average person, no. I suggest you wait until it's been debugged a little bit more, and a lot of apps have been written, applications, software have been written for it. It is a facelift, but internally there's not a lot of difference, especially if you're not running the 11th generation Intel chip. So why would you go out and get that? If you really want to see the pretty icons, I guess that's the way to go. More than likely, you're going to have some problems. And so the question is the gain worth the pain of getting this new system? Yes, you're going to gain a prettier interface, prettier menu, but there are going to be some problems with that. So is it worth it just to get that prettier interface, or should you wait? Now, if your system happens to expire, if your Windows 10 reaches end of life or end of service, and you're going to buy a new PC, then you should get a machine capable of running Windows 11 with the latest Intel chip. So if you're going to have to buy one, if you're forced to buy one, go buy one and then get one capable of running Windows 11. It would be worth it. But if you're not forced, if it's not something you have to do today, I recommend no, you don't make that move. I know that I won't. Thank you for joining us. That's another episode of Telecom Dog, where we're all about the travel, tech, and talk. Thank you.